and today we are going to talk about mindset. And as you know, normally we talk about how you can look and feel at least 10 years younger. And one of the big part of this program is a mindset. I mean, if you do not have a proper mindset, nothing is going to work. I mean, everything is important. Every step in the program is important. But mindset is very, very critical. So today we have a special guest, and it is Sabina Blanchflower, who has been trained by Proctor Gallagher Institute, and she is an expert in the mindset field. And she is working with a lot of people and helping them in their transformation very, very successfully. So I am so happy, Sabine, that you can be here with us today and you can share with us how you can help people to transform.
Well, hello, everybody. And first of all, greetings from Germany, where I am at the moment. I have grown up and lived in India most of my life in a place called Oroville. It is an international township, and that is where I spent most of my life, actually. And I also built my ceramic artist studio there and my home. And things started getting changing a little bit in my life when I turned 50. And slowly there was another dream that was growing inside of me. I felt like it was great what I was doing. I was an excellent ceramic artist, but there was something more that wanted to come forward, that involved meeting people and helping other people to see a more uplifted perspective of life. And I've always had a tendency to just speak to people and speak to strangers and you know, generally uplift and help people feel better. And so when I heard Bob Proctor speak during the time that I was working on my final big piece of art, it was as if there was this instant recognition that this is somebody I need to find out about. I need to know who it is. And I literally felt like someone put their hand on my shoulder and said, listen up, you know, wake up. It's time for you to now move on with your life. So I did 30 years of pottery and I was super happy doing it. And I am talented and I have done a great job and I have lived a wonderful life where I manifested all of my goals one after the other. But I never understood the how and the why behind it. Mm-hmm. And when I heard Bob Proctor speak about it and put it in such scientific terms and describe a method that could be learned by anybody and practiced and taught by anybody, then I suddenly thought, this is really what I want to do. I want to help other people also come out of this feeling of being a victim of circumstances, being a victim of conditions. And this is how I actually decided to follow his programs. And then I did a program that his head coach, Arash Wusugi, who has left the Institute by now and who is doing his own coaching business. But at that time, he was the head coach of PGI. And his program was so scientifically grounded and so solid in its base that I said, this is it. I understand this, and now I'm going to do it. And I'm not going to do it like before without understanding what I'm doing. I'm going to do it consciously. And I had a very big goal. I had set myself a big goal, and it involves, you know, financial freedom, a house by a lake somewhere, and teaching people, reaching out to people.
So you have already grew up in a very spiritual environment, correct?
Yes.
What was very special that you actually gained from Bob Proctor teachings? And you already were manifesting things before. So what is changing now? Why do you need it? Like you have that feeling of you need more.
So one of the things that makes Bob Proctor's programs so special is that he tells us how we can close the knowing doing gap. And in many spiritual communities or conscious living communities, there is a knowing doing gap that is quite large. We have a lot of ideals on one side that are very high and lofty. And then we have our life in which those ideals sometimes reflect, but when we are put to the test, it's not there. It's not, we don't really do what we know. We react, we do things without awareness. And for me, when he started talking about this gap and how you can close this gap, it became really interesting because in my own life, of course, I have the gap too. Every human being has it. And I was like, wow, this is really like a handbook where I can start to really live and transform myself into the things that I know and really become the person that I want to be. And the thing about being successful already by myself, I always felt guilty about it a little bit. I didn't understand it. And people said, well, it's because you're lucky, or it's because you are a foreigner, because I was a white person in India, or it's because of this or because of that. And I sort of never thought about it. But when I understood that, now I know how it works. And I immediately felt like I really want to share this with people. I want to be able to give my friends and everyone who I meet the same opportunity for success, and that they can do it in whichever field they want.
Well, this is fantastic. And I have heard a lot, and there is a lot of that on internet, and many people are promoting like visualization. And so a lot of people understand that, okay, I will sit on the beach and I just visualize my mansion, $1 million mansion, and it will show up. So, what do you say about it? How people can realistically achieve what they want to achieve using those techniques?
Yes. So here a lot of people fall. They trip up at this point, and then they turn around and say, this just doesn't work. Or maybe it works for so and so, but they had all the backing. Or maybe it works for so and so, but they had the right mentor and I don't have the right mentor. The fact is that the process of manifestation goes on 4 levels. It starts with an idea. It starts on the level of spirit. We are all made up of energy. We are living in a vibrational universe, and we are beings of energy. And we have spirit constantly flowing to us and through us. And this is what makes us always want to move forward and desire more and have more. And yes, society has sort of branded this as being greedy or ungrateful. But when we remove these brands, and if we really go inside and say, what do I really want? You find that there's some unexpressed desire inside of you, something that wants to just flow through you and with you in your own very particular, very special way, which is what you are. You are a specialized point of consciousness in an ocean of awareness, yes, in the universal intelligence. So expressing yourself through that is the creative process. Now, we have separated our intellect and our subconscious mind from the body. So we have these separate things, and in our normal society and our normal upbringing, we only focus on the conscious mind. And we give it a lot of importance. And so when you are told you can be, do, or have anything, you feel like, okay, if I can just imagine it, if I can think about it, then it should happen. And yes, sometimes it does, if it's not something that you have a block about. If it's something very easy, very small, it just happens. And you're like, oh, see, I just thought about that. But we have a subconscious mind, which is where the emotions are. And it is also where our limiting beliefs are. And to shift a limiting belief so that you can actually replace that belief with a wider, more expanded belief, which is would be the mansion, or would be the money, or would be the partner. To do that work, you are facing an obstinate little child inside of you. You are facing your paradigm, which is hardwired to your nervous system. You are facing discomfort. And many people are not willing to go through this barrier of discomfort, the fear of dying, because your old belief is your normal frequency. And when you are trying to shift your normal frequency, your whole body, every cell in your body that is vibrating on that frequency feels like it's getting torn apart, pulled to a new thing which it's not ready for. This is where action actually comes in as being really helpful, because when you can take an idea and get emotionally involved with it, but then also allow that emotion, that vibration of wanting to achieve this thing, or already being in the place of having achieved it, influence your actions, that you take the first step, even though you don't see the whole path there, you just take the first step. And you take the second step, and you imagine you're a child who's just learning how to cycle, and yes, you might fall and scrape your knee, but that never stopped you from learning how to bicycle. So the process of manifestation is like learning a new thing. It's like learning a skill. And the skill is to know yourself, to see your limiting beliefs, to recognize them, and then to not focus on them forever, and not discuss them, and not talk about them so much, but to focus on what you want so much and so often and again until you are planting those new seeds into your subconscious mind and they grow. Now, there is a law, a universal law called the law of gender, which means every seed takes its own time. So when you plant a seed in your garden, in the soil of your garden, and you go the next morning and there is no plant, there is no flower, do you stamp on the ground and say, hey, where are you? Why are you not yet manifested? Oh, my mansion, where is it? No, you know that this plant has to grow, and you know that you have to nurture it. You have to water it, you have to feed it, you have to give it shade. And the same thing goes with your desire, your want, your image of the thing that you want. And the rest you have to leave up to God. You have to surrender to God. The way you surrender, you know that you look after the plant, how the plant grows, how fast it grows, the time it takes, that is not in your hands.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people trip over the fact that the visualization isn't enough. It's an intellectual exercise, but it's not a transformative process. So the transformative process involves your emotions, it involves your paradigms, and you will face them as soon as you step out out of your comfort zone. Your paradigm is waiting there for you with all the reasons why you shouldn't do it. It is in the disguise of your logical thinking. It will use your imagination and your fear against you, your memories. So this is why the program Thinking into Results that Bob Proctor and Sandy Gallagher put together, it takes 6 months, because you have to understand what are your higher faculties, what are the tools that you have to take control of your mind and to form this life, to build this dream life that you want to have.
Well, I think that transformation in general, it's not easy. And it's very difficult in whatever field it would be. It's very difficult to do it by yourself. And many people don't understand that they are actually responsible for their lives, what happens to them. But I meet a lot of people who say, well, this happened to me because of that or that or that, you know? And and I tell them, no, you create your life. You have to take responsibility for your life. You are not a victim.
That's
Nobody
right.
was created as a victim.
That's right.
So how do you say? I mean, everything what you are saying is beautiful, but it sounds it's not that easy. And I don't know if there is possible just to read a book and say, okay, I am going to transform, you know?
Well,
Because
no, and this is why every mentor has a mentor who has a mentor, because this is when you enter, when you start walking on this path of transformation, when you start becoming aware, and you know, you can become aware quite fast. There are ways and techniques and methods of how you can become aware of your thoughts, how you can direct your thoughts in a new direction. It takes discipline, it takes exercise, but it works. All of these techniques, they work. You just have to do them, and it is really important to be guided, like to have a mentor who tells you when it's really hard. They can tell you, listen, I've gone through this. This is normal. And it is just a dark kind of a veil. And on the other side of this veil that you're going through now, there is your dream. There
yeah.
is
So
everything that
isn't it,
you know,
isn't it,
is your treasure. Yes.
yeah, isn't it, Sabine, like they have glasses, like dark glasses, and they try to see it, but they can't. Somebody else can say, listen, maybe you should take those glasses off.
Mm-hmm.
And then suddenly they take them off and, oh, I never saw that before, right?
Talking about seeing, there is something that we call frequential, a frequency blindness. When you are on a certain frequency, you cannot see what is on a different frequency. You can imagine it, and that is where you have your goal. But because you cannot see it yet, you doubt and you fear about it. But the fact is, it's a frequency blindness. And when you grow in your consciousness to the level where you can see it, then it's there. Then it's there. And then it's so easy because you are on the same frequency, and suddenly things work. Suddenly you meet the right person. Suddenly you meet, you know, have things fall into place. But you need to go through your own limiting beliefs.
Yeah.
It's that.
Isn't it like a frequency fork? You know, when you lift yourself to the right frequency,
Mm-hmm.
and this is like this when you push the frequency fork and the other things are showing up.
They're resonating.
Of that
Yes.
resonating on the same frequency.
Yes.
So if
Exactly.
you don't lift yourself to that frequency level, you never
Yeah.
can attract or see. And
That's
maybe
right.
that is so tell me more. Let's say I want a multi-million-dollar mansion. How can I get it? Is this possible, or am I just dreaming?
It's possible, and it's the same as possible as finding a blue butterfly. It's just that in our own mind, the multi-million-dollar mansion is, we have told ourselves a story about it, that it is very difficult, that it is very impossible, that only a few people can have it. About the butterfly, we don't tell ourselves the story. So if we say, I would really like to see a blue butterfly this week, something happens, suddenly there's a blue butterfly because you have no resistance, you can manifest it. So it is really not the thing that is hard, but it is the story you tell yourself about it that makes it hard or easy. And so everything is relative, right?
So you have seen the movie Blue Butterfly, right?
Yes.
It was beautiful. If anybody of you haven't seen the movie, oh my God, it's phenomenal.
It really
It's
is. Yeah.
so uplifting.
Yeah.
And this is more about your health. So the same, we are talking about mentions, but a lot of people here want just to look beautiful to the end of their lives, and they want to attract that. And this is part of the process, right?
And I can tell you that if you are able to shed your baggage of resentments, of hurt, of things that you have been carrying for the last 30, 20 years, it shows in your face. It shows it adds to your beauty.
Yeah. And
you cannot be resentful and angry and bitter and frustrated and sad and worried and afraid every day of your life, and your body not show that.
Exactly. And it's not easy today because everywhere from outside, they try to scare you. They try to frighten you. They try to control you. Through the fear, they can control you. And also you can free yourself out of that, right?
So this is where your choices start. You start to clean your mind and clear your mind, and you don't just allow anything to come in. You have a conscious mind, so you can reject ideas. You can choose what to accept and what not to accept. You go into a meditation course. You start doing yoga. You do things that calm your mind. You find a teacher who will teach you meditation. These things already, as soon as you start taking awareness, you get more and more choice of freedom. Yes. Freedom comes hand in hand with awareness. If you're not aware, you're not free. And this is what, social media and the TV and the advertisement industry, they take advantage of this.
That's right. That's right. So all this, so if you are aware, you are free, you said. That's amazing. That's amazing. Yes. So the opposite is true too. Yes. So if you are not aware, then you are living in bondage. So
that's right. That's right. Yes.
Isn't that amazing? So all this, what you are saying, is actually not new. We see it everywhere. So what is special about your particular way of teaching or working with people?
So I was listening to one of Bob Proctor's talks today, and I listen to him every day. And I think that one of the things about Bob Proctor's Thinking into Results program is that it is so clear and it is step by step and it doesn't miss anything. One of the most important things about this, the way the material is presented, is something called the stick person. The stick person is a name for an image that a man called Dr. Thurman Fleet, who created this image in 1963. He created an image of the mind. Now, he said, mind is an activity. It is not a thing. Nobody knows what the mind looks like. So I'm going to create an image of the mind to eliminate confusion and allow clarity so that we can work with it. And because we are human beings and we think in pictures, we think in images, when you don't have an image, things stay very vague. Like you said, you can read a book, but you put the book down and there is nothing much left in your mind except for some words and some concepts. But when you have an image, if I ask you, for example, what does your fridge look like, or what does your front door look like, you immediately have an image in your mind. And for the mind, it's to be able to work with it, to understand all the levels of it. To have an image is key. And Thinking into Results gives you this image. And it's a very simple image. It looks like it looks like a drawing from a cartoon. And if you will allow me to share the screen with you, I
Absolutely.
can.
Let
I
me
can.
see how I can do that. Let me go here. And my God. You know what? I can put my house. Okay. Here. You should be able to do it now.
Okay, wonderful. Just give me a moment, please.
Yeah.
I was not prepared to do this, but here we are.
Yes, it's nothing is a coincidence. Somebody attracted that.
That's right.
So it is kind of many people. Okay, go ahead.
Can you see this?
Yes, we can see. Mm-hmm.
So when I first saw this drawing, I smiled to myself and I was like, okay, you know, what is this? This looks like a cartoon drawing out of a comic book. But when you go into all the different levels and layers of this drawing, which we take you through in thinking into results, it really, really helps you to understand how things work. So obviously our mind is not a circle, our body is not a circle, but these are representations of the mind and the body. And the mind is shown as being larger than the body because the mind is activity, it's motion, and the body is an expression of that motion. So the mind is bigger and greater than the body. In reality, the mind is in a cell of your body. And then the mind, you draw a line across and you divide into the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, and the body. This was originated by Dr. Thurman Fleet of San Antonio, Texas, 1934. Now, here in the conscious mind, this is where we have our intellect. We have our educated mind is here. We have gathered a lot of information and we can accept or reject ideas here, and we can use this mind to generate images and our imagination, etc. The conscious mind has 6 higher faculties of the mind, which I'm about to open in a study group to look at. The subconscious mind is like the ground, the earth. It cannot reject anything you put in. And when you are little, well, you only have the bottom part. So everything can go straight in. If you are not aware of what is happening in your conscious mind, like watching TV and, just talking, blah, blah, all of that also can go straight through into your subconscious mind, which believes everything to be real.
Mm-hmm.
It has no capacity to distinguish between the real and the imaginative. And the subconscious mind expresses itself through the body. The subconscious mind creates the emotions, create a vibration in your body. And this vibration translates into your action and your behavior.
That's wonderful. That's really very clear. That's very, very clear. But at the same time,
and this is missing from a lot of the other programs and teachings. There's this real tangible image, and then of course we take the image further and further, and you really understand how we generate our bondage and how you can come out of bondage.
Well, so this is very intellectual at the same time.
Yes, it's pretty scientific as well.
Practical. Yeah, that's amazing. So, and it is, I just want to tell you, everybody, everybody knows how to lose weight, right? You stop eating, you are exercising, but how many people are doing it, right? So everybody may be understanding what Sabine is sharing with us. However, how many people can really do that? You need a coach. You need somebody, like you need health coach, you need mind coach, because those people can see what you cannot see. There are things that you
Right.
know, there are things you don't know, but there is things you don't know what you don't know. And those things are really creating your life. So it's so critical to have somebody, who can help you with those transformations. So, Sabine, I would like to ask you, whom are you really at this moment focusing? Whom are you working with right now? And also how people can reach and contact you if they are in to get more information.
Right. So at the moment, I am working mostly with, you're going to laugh, I'm working mostly with middle-aged men who are looking for a life partner. They are either divorcees or widowers, and they want, their goal is very clear in their minds. They want to find a woman who will share their life with them, a companion who they can trust, who they can love, and who can be there for them. And nowadays, when you are a single guy and you have friends who are happily married and you are invited to their place, or you all go out together and you are the one who doesn't have a partner with you, you really feel the emptiness. You can be very successful in other parts of your life. You may be having a fantastic job, career, great hobbies, but there is this aspect of sharing it with somebody that is missing for these guys. And so I'm there to help them to find out what limiting beliefs they have, which is not allowing them to enter such a relationship or attract the right woman and to achieve their goal. And because they have such a clear goal, they are on their way to achieving it. It's not going to be hard for them at all.
Fantastic. So how people can reach you? How they can contact you? I mean,
well, you can reach me on my Facebook page profile. I am Sabine Blanchflower, Ange Sabine Blanchflower. And we can put the link under this interview.
I will, yes.
And I am also giving away a 21-day manifestation challenge for my clients so that they can try to work on it, take up a challenge and really do it for 21 days. It has worked for me. I know it can work for other people as well.
Yeah. So are we going to put a link for that under the video, right?
Yes. You can find the link under the video. And also I'm starting a study group for the 6 keys to freedom, which are the 6 higher faculties of the mind. I can tell you that once you start studying yourself and getting to know yourself better and better, it's amazing what you discover about what tools you have, what abilities you have that you didn't know you had, and how you can use these abilities to empower yourself and really build your own future and take ownership of your mind.
This is amazing. Thank you so much, Sabina. Everybody has to understand that your body is amazingly powerful. You are more powerful beyond your own imagination.
That's exactly true.
The only person who is stopping you from achieving whatever you want to achieve, would it be a health, would it be economy, would it be whatever, is you. If you take yourself out of the picture, you can achieve whatever you want to achieve in your life. And this is proven. This is scientifically proven.
Absolutely.
It is not boo-boo. It is not something that somebody is like just talking. And no, this is science, ladies and gentlemen. And that's what we want to share with you. So, Sabine, thank you so much. And I hope you will take advantage and take this free guide, right? This is a free guide. And review that, contact Sabine, and have a wonderful life. And that's what we wish for you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Graziana, for the interview. Thank you. And bye, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.